Hey everybody, welcome to today's Wrestling Podcast. I'm joined today by Mark O'Brien, our resident AEW Mark. We're here to talk about, as you can see behind me, AEW Dynasty, probably one of the best matches that's going to happen. Hopefully, it's going to be one of the best matches of all time by the time this show is over. But AEW Dynasty is upon us. It's turning, it's looking to be one of the best pay-per-views this year. So we're going to get into it, but we're going to get into a bit of news before we go into that. Some news come out. We a few on the last show, Mark talked a bit about Cena having still associations with Vince McMahon and still in contact with him, and the news came out today as we record that The Rock and Cena are both still in contact with Vince McMahon. I just wanted to get Mark's take on it, since we spoke about his thoughts on Cena being involved in the WrestleMania main event with him being in contact with Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that's kind of widely known. I mean, people sometimes don't accept these things so it's down in a public forum or like on pen to paper. Cena himself had talked to him numerous times in interviews talking about how much he loves Vince McMahon and doesn't care what he's done. Fair enough. John Cena last year was out for dinner with Vince McMahon in New York. It was also Vince McMahon's birthday party with The Undertaker, Pat McAfee, and Brock Lesnar. So all those people, they obviously don't care what Vince McMahon's done. They don't care about the effect it's had on the likes of Janelle Grant, Ashley Massaro, who killed herself, Rita Chatterton in the 1980s, or the numerous other women that have been paid off as per all the releases of the last number of years. Yeah, so like that's it is what it is. Dwayne Johnson, you don't know what extent his conversations are with Vince McMahon. I mean, you can kind of surmise from WrestleMania itself, it was a bit of an ego trip for him and from start to finish for the 3 month build. I don't think anybody else came off as well as him, the guy who comes in for 3 months and leaves for a year. So his morality and decision making might be, maybe his values as well might be drawn into question. He's a guy who's also flip flop in terms of political ideology, going on Fox News recently talking about how he wouldn't back Joe Biden. He'd back a different candidate, inferring Donald Trump for this year's presidential election. So yeah, there's nothing that's overly surprising. There's other stuff that's come out yesterday. The kind of the Cena Johnson thing was the one that grabbed the headlines, but more tellingly was the fact that there was also court releases that showed that it's not just a court case against Vince McMahon, it's a court case against John Laurinaitis, and most importantly against WWE. So that includes Nick Khan, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, corporate officers 3, 4, and 5, and the likes of Bruce Pritchard, who are implicated heavily throughout that court case, all of whom knew specifically throughout this ordeal for poor Janelle Grant exactly what was happening to her when she's being attacked in the locked office during the morning of a working day in WWE corporate offices. So as much as WWE want to spin about it being a new day, it's not a new day. It's just one person's gone. Triple H is a figurehead. He's the fall guy for Nick Khan, who's pulling things in the background. Yeah, that. It is what it is. It's a sad entity with some sad people running it, in my view. Nick Khan is a guy who's come in there fresh from anything. Obviously, at the tail end in 2020, he came on board. He's been the best signing in the history of the wrestling business. Completely changed WWE how they operate internally and externally. If you look at, like, if you want to get into the real kind of nitty gritty of it, if in terms of, you look on social media, the amount of army of, say, bots, if you want to call it, or you want to call the amount of content providers that are specifically more agenda driven, without integrity or authenticity in terms of their work. A lot of that's driven by partnerships that Nick Khan has course. He's a PR guy, and he understands the value in kind of public relations nowadays. He runs WWE as if it's a political PR machine, as a political entity, as you would in any political vehicle over in the United States as it is. There's a difference between WWE fans and AEW fans. It was articulated quite well to me recently, was that WWE fans are like Republican voters over in the United States. They'll take what they're told. They won't argue it. They'll fight to the death for it. They won't question it. They won't think of the morality. Whereas Democrats were likely to argue and nitpick and pinpoint everything that's wrong with something. So all these things combine, if you're continuously putting narratives online, it's much the same as the US political environment. Narratives get formed and people's agendas and views of things get changed.
Saying when you're mentioning regarding the Republican thing, is it an American thing to do? Like we're saying The Rock and Cena are thinking of Vince McMahon as innocent until proven guilty, and you
Mhm.
see a lot of that with. I'm not saying it's just Republicans, like, but with people
Yeah,
like supporting Trump, knowing some of
yeah,
the stuff he's gotten up to, and they still seem to support him because he's never
yeah,
been found guilty of anything he's been
yeah.
accused of yet.
And people talk about to that point, people are talking about like Stephanie McMahon and Linda McMahon. The Hall of Fame, Linda and Stephanie were there. Night one, WrestleMania, Stephanie and Linda weren't there. They were the fundraiser for Donald Trump. Night two, there at WrestleMania. So in between the Hall of Fame and night two of WrestleMania, they went to Donald Trump fundraiser in the northeast of America. So if you want to talk about Stephanie McMahon and her family being whiter than white or not being involved in anything that's gone on previously, they're also aligning themselves with somebody who's got similar tendencies as their sexually assaulting father. So sorry to throw that term in there, but it is what it is. These are
Well,
the
you
type of
see
people.
people like, I can bring it back to The Rock and Cena, but then The Rock, wasn't he a Biden supporter when
He
Biden
was, yeah,
ran?
he was,
He
yeah. Then
was,
last week saying he's gonna be a Trump supporter. So like it's. I think Dwayne Johnson will do whatever suits Dwayne Johnson best because
mm.
he's obviously been kind of kicked out of Hollywood to a degree. He's not somebody who's got all of it. He's kicked out of the DC Warner Brothers family for going above and beyond to change things within the Black Adam sphere and a number of other ventures as well. He's not overly popular within the XFL UFL franchise now
Is he
that have
even involved in
alienated him
that
from.
anymore? No, is he
He's still part owner, yeah, but he kind
his
of fell flat
partner?
in his face.
Danny
There's a lot
Garcia
of
is doing all the hard work, I think.
yeah, so it's funny how in 2011 when he was failing in Hollywood, he came back to the WWE, and now when he's failing in Hollywood again, 13 years on, suddenly he comes back to the WWE. So I'm just saying coincidentally these things are aligned almost as well. Um,
Unfortunately, when you're at the top, the only way to go is down. Like you
yeah,
can't
well,
go any
listen,
higher. He got as high as he could. Like
yeah, exactly. But he moved. He was floundering Hollywood in 2011. Used WWE as a launching point to kick off for the next 10 plus years. Floundering again across a number of different ventures. Externally to WWE, come back to the WWE now, and now he's got this newfound popularity as the final boss, and people across all walks of life are now commenting on how captivating, charismatic he was, and that like Charles Barkley, who's part of the TNT NBA coverage, was talking about how much he loves The Rock and he couldn't take his eyes off and watches him nonstop. So I wouldn't be surprised if he now has about 10 different movie deals lined up off the back of this. So he's obviously going straight into a movie production for ex UFC fighter. These are the way things go. You don't get one movie offer at a time. You get five or six, and you plan that out.
mm.
So suddenly, one studio will come to him. Okay, we're going to give you 3 or 4 movies, all run the same thing. It'll be some sort of shoot 'em up action hero savior type thing.
Netflix, he's all on a deal with Netflix. He was on a movie deal with
Yeah,
Netflix as well for like the
yeah,
one with Ryan Reynolds, and
yeah,
I think
yeah.
they're signed up
Code
for
Red or
two.
whatever it was called. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, listen, we'll probably have a number of offerings off the back of that. You never know. He might decide his ego might grow so much and realize that a guy who barely qualified from an American football university is best placed to run for government in America. So you never know. These people
he's
have easily inflated
he made
egos.
a TV show about it.
Yeah.
If you watch
Yeah,
Young
but
Rock, it's all
he
about
thought
him
so
running
much
for
of himself.
president.
He thought so much of himself that his early life was worthy of being a television program. I mean, Jerry, I mean, if you had the money, would you decide to publish your entire
Nobody
family
wants to.
life as a child?
Nobody wants to see that.
Well, but
Nobody.
I mean, evidently nobody wanted to see Young Rock either. So it's based on viewer numbers. So
Season one was all right. Like some of the characters portrayed as
yeah,
were probably the ones that threw everybody off.
yeah,
People dressing up as Ric Flair just didn't work. Like so that kind
yeah,
of fucked up the wrestling fans who were watching. It was like
yeah.
this
I say
isn't
this is
red.
somebody. I say all this is somebody who dressed up as The Rock for Halloween. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
like, I think that show was aimed more at his Hollywood fans.
yeah.
As an actor more than anything else. So they want to see how he started off more than wrestling fans because wrestling fans tore it to shit.
Just promoting Dwayne Johnson. That's all it is. Brand of Dwayne Johnson. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
enough of them. He got enough screen time. Before we get into the AEW stuff, with there more news on AEW? We mentioned today on Twitter, Forbes released
Mhm.
the the most valuable sports, most combat sports companies
Mhm.
or promotions, as they like to call it.
Mhm.
And the top three: UFC, WWE, and AEW. For a company that's a startup, is still kind of a startup.
Yeah.
5 years. That's
Yeah.
normally a 5 year window is the startup
Yeah.
under
It's still considered a startup.
umbrella.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like to be third and with like a what if they're valued at $2 billion?
Yeah,
You know, revenue of $250 million for 2023, which is
yeah,
huge.
yeah.
You know,
It's somewhat misleading, right? It's so if you look at the actual list, so you've got like one fight, you've got the top one is UFC
mm,
because UFC is a league. It's not really a promotion.
yeah, yeah.
It's like you're putting the Premier League in there.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got one whole sport so sewn up that everything outside of it is a complete mess. Whereas then you look at the boxing promotions that aren't leagues as such. So you've got like the likes of Combate America, you've got Matchroom Boxing, and
Mm.
soon you've probably got Queensbury Promotions from the UK as well. They're all operating under $1 billion, but they don't have weekly television programming. They're all people who just run consumer-based events.
Yeah.
They run like pay-per-views. So that whereas UFC have programming across ESPN, they have pretty much weekly events on their app. They have probably at least one pay-per-view per month. All
Jeez,
be it across
a
at
week,
least
every week.
they'll have like
They have,
UFC fight night, but that'll be on
yeah,
the UFC app. So
yeah.
it's a content generating game. So the people that generate the most content are UFC and WWE, and then but WWE also their weekly episodic television. So they have got a landing point where they're going to be generating you revenue and product,
Mm-hmm.
live products on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 52 weeks a year. Plus, they're gonna be partnering with various different apps all around the world, and they've got the syndication agreements with various different countries and companies,
Yeah.
for their streaming networks, their pay per view model as well. That then falls into with AEW the fact that they've got up to 2 billion in a short space of time is more reflective of the amount of content they generate and the amount of content they produced and the
Yeah.
value of the content they produce on a weekly basis. They got 5 hours going on weekly television, plus the 2 hours if they get Ring of Honor on television as well on top
Mm-hmm.
of that. So that 2 billion can be pushed up to 2.5 billion. I'd say 2-3 billion within a year or two, depending what their next agreement is going to be.
That 2 billion, is that a net worth of what they've gained over the last 5 years, or is that
Net worth of
included
all their
in Tony
products. Net
Khan's?
worth of the net worth is a company. Company and what they produce on a regular basis. So that's
So
so two bit to be you can roughly estimate that that's going to be in and around what they're going to be getting for their television production for their
mm-hmm.
television rights deals, I imagine. And that's going to be across the 5 hours of AEW programming, I would wager. So that it's by number three, like it's a huge, incredible achievement. But when you look underneath that, it's not necessarily linear. There's not the same comparative. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're not the same products, and it's hard. It's you're comparing like you're you're comparing a limited television series with like a weekly television series, like say Coronation Street. It's like so
Mm-hmm.
you're comparing like Sherlock on BBC, which pops up every 2 years or whatever for 6 episodes, and then you're going to pop up Coronation Street, which is probably on 4 nights a week on ITV. So like that, it's not really like with like that
Yeah, yeah.
comparison model. But they're also coincidentally they've left out the valuation of WWE and UFC. They've got a combined valuation of about 17 billion there, but they're over leveraged by over 4 billion. So they're about 12 billion combined. They've also been sold off to Silver Lake at a significantly lesser value than that. So that might be a somewhat inflated value if
I
you're
think it
comparing.
was based on 2023 numbers though. So
Yeah, but
it
it's
hasn't.
still but it's still heavily indebted
Mm,
as an entity. Like the same, like United with Manchester United, you're a United fan in terms of the Glazer family.
yeah.
Do you know the amount of debt they've accumulated to keep the place running when
Mm-hmm.
they're purchasing? So it's a similar model in that way. So there's a
Yeah.
huge amount of debt acquired, and a lot of the revenues they generate won't be distributed among the performers. It won't be distributed among their shareholder. Well, it'll be distributed primarily among the
Yeah, yeah.
people who TKO money to. And that's going to be the model for the next several years until they clear that debt. Then they might start redistributing wealth among the performers and contracts and employees. But yeah, it's an incredible achievement for any company to go from 0 million. That's not including any. That's not including anything of the money that Tony Khan's made.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're currently generating $250 million per year.
But that money is not the money he's pumped into the
No,
company. Like it's nothing to do
no,
with his profit
no,
or his actual
no,
wealth. Like,
no, nothing to do with his money. This is what the valuation of a company. It's nothing to do with their bank balance or where the money's coming from. This is what generating what the product is, the value of the product, and what it can be sold off as. So it's pretty impressive.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's
huge.
pretty. Yeah.
You know, never know. You know, we're going to be in another 5 years. Where they're going to be.
No, so like if you're if a private equity to come in, a private equity firm to come in there and examine the what to a SWOT analysis, like strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats of AEW as a company, like that's you're going to be getting 2 to 4 billion straight off. Like they've already had offers for over 2 billion to buy the company previously, but this is just at a very flat level. Obviously, if you're going to be if this is 2 billion now, starting asking price, you're going to be selling it for 4 billion or something on top of that, depending on the competition in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And given the amount of retail they have on
They're
pay-per-view
not.
models, streaming models, as well as on television space, when a limited market and a dwindling television market that is reducing by the month in America, and AEW's numbers have stayed steady.
Mm.
For years, they're actually the same level they were a couple of years ago. There was a fascinating piece out recently talking about the reduction in television metrics across every single type of program, including all sports. AEW as a company is one of the few brands that has barely reduced at all over the years. I think people can talk about like, oh, they got 800,000 to 900,000 most weeks, but okay, but like that's the people they're serving, the people who pay for their product, their television network are going bananas. Like brilliant, we're getting 500,000 every Saturday, we get 800,000 every Wednesday, we get 3 to 400,000 every Friday night. Plus, then we're going to get them on our streaming network. We're going to do this, that, and the other, and then the amount of additional content. So it's not like it's not a fair, accurate assessment. Like if you've got particularly for a startup company that's only on one network and only distributed on one network, and it doesn't have a fleshed out marketing, PR, operational department, it's essentially just a load of randomers put together.
I think it's more the fact that at the start, you know, in the early days, they were comparing, you know, NXT and AEW, and they're competing for numbers, and
Yeah.
you know, people were hyping up the fact that, you know, they were beating NXT every week, and you know, they were you know, whenever WWE are on Fox One and SmackDown, and they're beating them on numbers for that. Like that's part of the thing. It was like, oh well, you're not beating us now, kind of thing. Like so,
a lot
it's
as we
both
touched on earlier,
sides.
it's perception
Yeah,
battles. A lot of these
yeah.
things, PR battles, as we touched on earlier, like in terms of WWE, have very much won that PR battle in terms of they've convinced the wider public that WWE is a good product to watch. It's not. It's not. If you watch Monday Night Raw, like bar the main event, it's pretty poor. That they tell you that they pay off a number of influencers to tell you something cinema when it's fucking garbage. That changes people's perception, and as you know, Twitter and these places are complete echo chambers. That simpletons will drive something that's very basic as now being mind-blowing, or do you know what I mean, something incredibly convoluted as just being a genius piece of art. Like, do you know the Sami Zayn thing for the night?
Mm-hmm.
That was his walk-in part was cool. Why is Jey Uso walking through the crowd to leave the arena?
Just to get the
Why didn't he
shot.
go get Why didn't he go get changed? It's cold. It's Canada.
Just to get the shot.
No, I know, but like it's convoluted. It's contrived. Like and like it's one camera following the whole way. Yeah, cool. Like it was, but the cool thing wasn't the production or the camera. The cool thing was the crowd. The crowd are believing. WWE has become like, say, Coachella. It's the cool place to go to. People go there to sing along to certain songs and take photos to say they're out there, but they don't really give a shit what they're watching. And these things only have a certain shelf life. Now with Paul Heyman, kind of taking a step back in terms of booking. Dwayne Johnson's booked the biggest angle in the past 20 years. He's gone. What's WWE going to become now? How long did people's patience last for in terms of there's already trolls online talking about, oh, Cody's given the same promo 3 or 4 shows in a row. That's all fucking Roman Reigns did for 4 years. Do you know what I mean?
Like, you know, we said this, I'm sure we said this in the past, like that whenever Cody does win the championship, but you know, what did they do with him? Who did they book him against? And you know, how soon are they going to turn on him? Like,
but I mean, like people have this idea that the bloodline thing was some sort of masterpiece, but it wasn't. It was shit for 2 and a bit years. It wasn't good until Sami Zayn came along. Do you know what I mean? It was a 4-year cycle, and it was 2 and a bit years post SummerSlam 2022 where suddenly Sami Zayn got involved, and then it started incrementally became better and better and better, and then reached a crescendo. And then between January and March 2023, it reached a fever pitch, and then after March, it jumped off a cliff and didn't do anything until the following February. So like there's not a huge amount, like it's not this.
That's because Roman wasn't around for most of it.
I know, but I mean, like it's at the same time, like it's now that say Roman Reigns has stepped away, The Rock has stepped away, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, they're going to be like wheeling in and out depending on injuries and contract statuses. You've got a very, very incredibly limited women's division. We talked about it the other night. They have a women's division that doesn't actually wrestle for the most part. At what point does it stop becoming fun to just sing along or just to chant along with entrances?
I think it's more the fact now that it's up to them to sink or
Yeah.
swim.
You've got people in the room now. You've got their attention. Now what are you going to do with it? Are you going to what WWE did for 20 plus years, took everybody for granted? Like I thought the product on Monday was garbage by and large. It wasn't enjoyable. It was no nuance or thought, bar the Chad Gable piece at the end. Like I really, really didn't enjoy it, and that wasn't being harsh or critical. I think their viewing numbers kind of reflected that in terms of the drop off quarter on quarter errors. But it's like people talking about NXT being a wrestling show. NXT isn't a wrestling show. NXT is a
variety show.
It's a weird variety.
It's a variety show.
No, but I mean, like it's not a wrestling variety show. It's a weird, like it's people talk about this Dave Meltzer giving out about this Tatum Paxley thing, like, and all the one stage people think NXT is a developmental brand, then other people think no, it's a sports entertainment brand. Like, what is it? What standard do we hold it up to? Are you allowed to criticize it or are you not allowed to criticize it? But when they do the same regurgitated angle for the only idea they have for female wrestlers in NXT, same thing over and over and over and over again, and you dare criticize it and say never been good, they all jump on them and they all start attacking somebody for correctly pointing out and expressing the view of many people who try to attempt to watch that garbage. Sorry, you brought me on as an opinion.
I cannot wait till you have your question over Backlash.
Yeah, geez.
Why are you so good? I cannot wait for you to go viral. I hope you have a couple of questions lined up.
Yeah, I wanted to ask what Dwayne Johnson's specific role is in the TKO board. I saw there's a good bit of discussion around that. I want to discuss what.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Like
I know, but they're not watching this. The Rock isn't watching this anyway.
Well, snip it and send it out. Okay. Prepare for this question at Backlash.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of WWE. We're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about AEW because this is our AEW Dynasty prediction show. We'll go into it match by match, but we'll also bounce off what happened at Dynamite last night as we record. So we'll start off with on the list. I'll go through it as common as I can. Acclaimed and Billy Gunn versus the Bullet Club Gold or the Bang Bang Gang or whatever they want to call themselves. Winner take all. Finally, we're getting this fucking match that should have happened a long time ago, and they should never have teamed up. But they're trios titles, so whatever you're calling them, are all getting combined into one unit. What are your thoughts on this match?
I wrote a piece for Voice of Wrestling at the start of January saying that these titles need to be combined as soon as possible, and the trios need to be binned entirely. I wrote that in the assumption that was going to be paid off within the coming weeks. It's now nearly 4 months later. So I want Jay White to go in there, hit Blade Runner on Billy Gunn, pin him in 3 seconds, and then the Acclaimed to beat up Billy Gunn. And Billy Gunn, the man who's in his 60s, never appear on television again, who had an ego trip to refuse to sell any offense against a former IWG World Heavyweight Champion a few weeks ago. Jay White should just be a star that he is, and Jay White should be booked in several main event angles going forward.
Was there really a mention of this on Dynamite last night? There wasn't really any talk of it.
There was a couple of backstage segments. The Bang Bang Gang did a backstage segment about Daddy or Papa Blade is gonna beat up Daddy Ass, and they're gonna unify the titles. Then the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass did a backstage thing. Like, yeah, we're gonna get you. Yeah.
When they say they're unifying the titles, so whoever wins, are they going to be the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions, or are they going to be the AEW Trios champions, or is it going to be the Ring of Honor AEW 6-man Trios titles, or what the fuck are they?
Well, I was hoping they were going to unify it and bin the Ring of Honor ones, but they've just made new Ring of Honor belts.
So they're binning the AEW Trios titles. So
probably not.
Well, they're binning both of them.
That'd be good. That'd be brilliant. I would love that. it seems they're just going to unify, but they're going to hold two belts like they did with the WWE shit, where they held two tag team belts for ages, pretended they had a tag team division. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, so moving on from that, another trios match. Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe against House of Black. I'm just going to talk briefly about what happened in Dynamite with Willow Nightingale and Adam Copeland. It was more like it was pretty much a squash match. It was a showcase for Brody King, beating the shit out of Adam Copeland for most of the match before Willow got involved and ended up taking the pin. But what did you think of Brody getting that rub from Adam Copeland last night?
I thought it was pretty cool. The whole match was built a mixed tag team match. The whole match was built around a female babyface coming out and making a comeback.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's like
never done before. You never see that.
Yeah. And
I was a bit perplexed last week whenever they announced they were teaming up and she made the save for him, and I was like, "What's going on here? Why is she making the save?" But yeah, it worked.
They're intertwining 2 or 3 different angles there. They've got the Julia Hart, Willow Nightingale. They've also going to get the Mercedes Moné thing in there where she's tied now. It's a good way to pivot her into being a heel because obviously
she needs to be. Yeah,
it's obviously just terrible babyface. Yeah, like I thought it was good. Like Adam Copeland is significantly better than Edge, or at least Edge from the last number of years since he returned. He's somebody who's a lot more freer. Obviously, looks like he's not trying to, I don't know, live up to some sort of previous incarnation of himself. He looks like somebody who's just really enjoying his work and trying out different things, trying out different manners of work. He seems to be having the time of his life.
Seems like he wants to work with as many people as possible. He didn't mention during the week.
Brody King's a badass as well. So
he looked brilliant in it. Like
Brody King looks brilliant in every outing. They're incredible anytime they're out.
Normally, like we see him in matches where he's losing where to people he shouldn't be losing to, making him look softer than
he was unbelievable on the Continental Classic. He only lost one match.
Yeah, he was. So this match, the trios match, House of Black, presuming we're going down the route of Adam and Malachi at some stage for the title.
Yeah.
So
I would assume, I would predict that House of Black win this, just given that they are a unit. And I don't really see the benefit in 3 singles wrestlers being thrown together, overcoming a stable unit. I think, do you know what I mean? I love Buddy Murphy.
Matthews.
But apparently Malachi Black refuses to job to anybody. He's quite difficult backstage. He's a guy who was treated abysmally in WWE, traded like below jobber level.
He was undefeated for a year.
Probably wasn't on TV for a year.
He was on TV a lot. They just didn't realize he was undefeated for a year whenever he lost to AJ Styles, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, he hasn't lost in a year."
He was treated horrendously, and then he was brought into AEW and treated like a star from the outset, and then refusing to lose to XYZ or understanding it's a different ecosystem, a different way of working. So people are constantly having to come to different arrangements to kind of get the desired outcome in matches where it can't be a cooperative effort. So I'd be interested to see how this goes down.
There was mentions like about 2 weeks ago of Adam Copeland, and there was backstage issues. Was there anything involved with Malachi Black or anybody involved?
Adam Copeland backstage issues?
There was altercations backstage a few weeks ago. There was a report on that a few weeks back. There was some
I've never I ears to the ground anything AEW, and I've never heard anything about Adam Copeland backstage in
not that he was instigator or anything, that maybe he was trying to break something up, or he was in there somewhere. There was some mention of it about 2 weeks ago.
No, I never heard that. Sorry, yeah.
No, that's okay. All right. So who's winning this? Actually, I forgot to ask you who Acclaimed. You said
the Bang Bang Gang, yeah.
Who's so obviously
House of Black.
House of Black is winning this.
Yeah.
Hope so. Next match listed here. Hook versus Chris Jericho. What the fuck happened last night in and Dynamite. What was that all about?
I'd say Hook was probably supposed to interject at different points, and Hook was probably supposed to be a bit more dramatic, and it's probably supposed to be a bit. He's obviously somebody who's incredibly green in terms of his character, in terms of his verbiage, his acting, and whatnot. I didn't think it was as bad as everybody thought, and I think it's something that being put in a spot with Chris Jericho is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, like they've had the match already. They've had a singles match already. Hook has beat him. I know it was a roll up. He didn't use the fucking red room, whatever. Like, but last night, like, you know, they're playing up. They want Chris has been a face for, you know, a wet week.
Yeah,
and the fans kind of, you know, pretty much turned on him last night whenever he pushed Taz over.
He's been booed for a while now, just purely
yeah.
for the turn of the year.
Is this more of a let's get Chris Jericho on the pay-per-view match than, you know, does this need to be on the pay-per-view? What the fuck is the FTW?
I think it's more or less get that. I think it's more or less get Hook involved more. Let's do more with Hook. Let's try keep elevating Hook up the card. So like the Hook this year has had programs with Samoa Joe. He's been regularly featured, but he's not really developing hugely in terms of learning more about him. So I think they're pushing him with Chris Jericho to kind of flesh that out a bit more. It's gonna be it's growing pains to a degree, right? Like he's kind of a bland badass. Now you can do all the cool vignettes backstage, and
you can fucking see through his hat, like
like this. He's done a load of cool vignettes where he's like before the Samoa Joe feud, where he faced him for the world. So there's loads of really cool stuff in the streets of New York that he filmed with a friend, apparently. Not enough of that was portrayed. You're not learning enough about him, and this is more to kind of get more of his personality out, I think, and that will kind of help him get to that next level.
He's a badass, right? Jericho pushed Taz over. We know how bad a badass Taz is, like, you know, and he's older than he used to be, but Taz would probably still choke Jericho out in real life. But if somebody pushed your fella over, like the way Taz fell over in that segment, and you just stood there, and
he shoved him up into the corner, and
he slightly slowly walked over and told him, would you not be jumping on the fucker? And
he should have ran over and grabbed him by the collar and had him run up into the corner.
That's what he should have done,
But like that's again, like maybe that's what he was supposed to do.
But even an instant reaction, even if it wasn't, like, that's your dad, like, fucking, you know, protect your father. Anything like he would do the same for you when you were younger. He probably still do it now. He probably beat the shit out of most people there, like, so. Hook's winning this, is he? Has Steve, does he?
No, Chris Jericho's
really?
Because Chris Jericho's going to launch into the learning tree vortex of Jericho. He'll do some sort of dastardly means. Taz will probably
come out of retirement.
There'll be some sort of schmoz with Taz in terms of like a distraction. He'll like Hook will be down and Jericho tries to use a bat or something. Taz gets in the apron, takes the bat. The referee will be down or trying to sort the bat and Taz out. Jericho low blows Hook and it'll be a roll up. It'll be something, a banana peel like that. And
then they're 1-1, so there's a rematch. Okay.
And then Jericho will expand on this learning tree, and
Is he not? He's not starting another faction, is he?
I think he should. I think he should.
No,
I think he should.
The class of Jericho.
Yeah, but I mean, like, some people like it's heat. Do you mean?
I know it's heat.
Like, I mean, people just want to have cool heels in AEW. No, like, you have people you don't like. You have to do something different. You can't just have people who are like, yeah, he's a bad guy, but like he's really slick. Like, really, no, we really like him. We appreciate his work. No, you want somebody who fucking annoys you. Do you know what I mean? That's how you create drama and balance. That's how you get to like Will Ospreay down the line beating the shit out of Jericho and like fucking battering the cunt. Like that's where you get to. You need somebody like I hate you. Just even if it's go away heat, you can't just have somebody who is really cool and you appreciate heat.
Yeah. And
he can lean into his MAGA shit where he talks about donating to Donald Trump because he does.
Imagine if he did.
It's a voting year. Over 50% of Americans like that. So
I know, yeah.
You know what I mean? You might as well, but they might as well lead into that because that's a red button issue, and that'll inflame people and get more people talking about them. That's what I do.
We'll see what happens. I'm not keen on this feud. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't think it's going to do anything for her.
I'm not watching it. I'm not watching the pay-per-view for that, but I'm
to
watch it intrigued. I want to see what Hook does, how good he gets, because that piece came out midweek saying Hook would consider going to WWE. Like, I don't really give a shit if he goes to WWE or not.
He wouldn't be.
Do. Like,
I don't think he'd be booked properly over there though.
I mean, like, nobody in the performance center turns out to be a good wrestler who's actually like trained the performance center. So I'm not really that pushed about it. Like he's not going to go up. Like, what's he going to do? Become feud with Lexus King? Cool. Like,
No, he's just going to get squashed by Braun Breaker every week.
I mean, like that Hook news piece might be driving that in terms of, or he's considering go to WWE. Let's get him on a pay per view. Like, you never know these things.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Next match on the list, Roderick Strong against Kyle O'Reilly for the AEW International Championship. It should be.
I really like this story as well. I like the mix of comedy and seriousness, and I like the way it was really well done. Where there's a lot of like backstage interviews with Rocky Romero, and like the fucking, what are they called? The United Kingdom or whatever.
Yeah,
United Kingdom,
Undisputed Kingdom, yeah.
Undisputed Kingdom, yeah.
Undisputed Kingdom, United Empire.
Yeah. But they come in a bit kind of a strange, convoluted manner, like, oh well, best of luck, good. And then the way they turned on Rocky, and then Kyle came out to kind of stop that. It was actually well done in the end. Kind of the end point of that, how that the genesis of that feud. I think Roderick Strong is awesome.
He's really growing on me. Like at the start, I was just screaming at him for a long time.
No, but in WWE, I had no interest in him.
Well, he wasn't a character. He was just
bland. It wasn't not even the character. But like, I think in WWE, you're not allowed to wrestle as such. I mean, you're strict parameters in how you perform, and then the way he in ring wise, like looks like he's somebody who's going to murder you every time. Like
the best match he ever had in WWE was the triple threat with Nakamura and Danielson. Was it Danielson at Survivor Series when they had the NXT?
Possibly, yeah, probably.
He won that match. He beat the two. They were US title. He was North American champion, and
there was very little he did in NXT that was like, you're like, oh, okay, he's kind of bland. He's not allowed to really wrestle an awful lot. But then now he comes into AEW, and when he wrestles, his stupid level of intensity, and he like puts in a work rate and an output on you. He's kind of like Kurt Angle.
Yeah, he's got
TNA Kurt Angle, who like just would work at a fever pitch with an intensity. I love it. This furious output. And he's shredded to fuck as well. So yeah, there's not an inch of testosterone replacement therapy or steroids in that man.
What's your thoughts on Kyle O'Reilly since he's been back? I'm not going to say new character.
I think he's really cool. In terms, when do you watch his matches? He like, you'll get a lot of like fucking Vincels and Fed stands who'll be like, oh no, but he doesn't have like what's his comeback or what's his main finish? He's got such a unique blend of like combos and strikes, and a lot of times his finish will be off like it'd be like a leg kick into an elbow smash, and then when the guy's down, he gets his back and puts him in a chokehold or something. He's really inventive and innovative in terms of applying like mixed martial arts strategies into his finishes and his matches.
Yeah.
I find him incredibly unique. Like, I don't think he's going to be fucking world champion or something. But he's got in ring, his appeal, I think, is brilliant. I really, really enjoy him working. Yeah.
And it's they've got him. We know how long their history is, from the Ring of Honor days. Like, but this match is for a title that Roderick Strong only recently won. So
yeah. Wardlow will batter Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong will.
That's for the the International Championship now. Moving on from that, Julia Hart, we spoke about it a while ago. Julia Hart and Willow Nightingale house rules match.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you can pretty much tell which way this is going with the house rules. Like, there's obviously going to be interference from a few people. The way things are going, Statlander or Mercedes and stuff. Stokely's involved here as well. So what do we see the outcome of this, after what happened with and Dynamite?
It's a few ways this could go. So you got to take into account the past 2 weeks of Dynamite, where like Mercedes Moné was laid out, and later on Chris Statlander was doing an interview outside of Mercedes Moné's dressing room. Then you've got the way Willow was laid out this week. Then Chris Statlander's, you go get her down the ring. Then Mercedes Moné comes out in a chair. So you've got this is actually well thought out, this angle. Like, it's nuanced to the substance to it. If you look at things surface level, there's a lot of people like, oh, what? That's kind of boring. Why is it just lay out Mercedes Moné? She can't wrestle for another few months. But there's about 4 or 5 different moving parts within this. I think you're gonna have. I think Mercedes Moné will come out anyway. I think. Well, so I'll start off with. I think Willow Nightingale wins. Yeah, I think Willow Nightingale wins. I reckon Mercedes Moné will help her win. And then there'll be Chris Statlander will come out and probably lay them both out. I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Or Chris Statlander will lay out one of the good guys, Mercedes Moné and Willow, one of the two. I'm trying to get to the end point. I'm trying to think this through. The end point you'll have Mercedes Moné and Stokely Hathaway together
As heels.
Yeah.
You know, Statlander's going to be a heel coming out of this.
I think she'll be she might be the heater actually for Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I think maybe Statlander and Mercedes will team up, and Stokely will be their manager because Willow wouldn't do the dirty work that Stokely's trying to get her to do. Because Willow's not a heel. Willow can't be a fucking heel. Like, there's no way she's
no.
Heel
I
material.
think you'll have Willow winning the belt, but there'll be Mercedes and Chris Statlander and Stokely will probably be a unit at the end of it. The three of them, yeah.
What do you do with Julia Hart after that, though? Do you send her up into the main picture for the women's title, or
no? Just go back to being spooky.
Whereas
she can go off and fight Billy Starks on ROH.
Where's Sky Blue at?
Don't care.
She was involved in this.
I don't know, OnlyFans or something. I don't know. Whatever creeps are asking about.
So Willow's winning the title here,
yeah.
I think so too. Julia's had it for long enough now. So I think Willow.
I think that's only natural because you're going to pivot to Mercedes versus Willow next.
Yeah, for the title. Yeah.
But they might want to do something. They might overbook this where they want to make it a triple threat or something because they want to
what's next?
They double or nothing, but they want. That's where Mercedes is going to make her in-ring debut. But they might do something whereby they don't want to just they want to bring Julia Hart up as well. So I'm curious how they do that. I don't think they're going to just squash Julia Hart and then
no way. Not she's with the House of Black. Like, she's,
it could be a fatal 4-way at Double or Nothing. You never know.
I think that will be.
I think that's a waste of Mercedes
ladder match maybe, or
4-way. Be a tag.
Nah, we'll put her in a tag match.
I prefer a tag over a fatal 4-way.
They've had tag matches already with Willow and Julia, and
I know, but be Willow. It'd probably be Willow and Julia together.
Julia as a face.
Yeah, you could do that.
Even though she's associated with the House of Black.
But they might be badass. They're cool. I
know they're cool, but they're not face. Like, I know they could. She could be a.
You never know. I think if you're gonna do Statlander and Mercedes, I think you should establish them as a team.
Oh yeah, but Statlander's the muscle for Mercedes. Like, she's.
So if you're going to, I'm saying if you get to Double or Nothing, if fatal 4-ways are shit, okay, so you're not going to do that. You either do Willow with Julia in your corner and Mercedes with Chris Statlander in your corner, or do you do a tag match?
Or 2-on-1.
Yeah, but then that takes away the specialty of Mercedes Moné debut, whereas you can kind of do Mercedes Moné in a tag like they did with The Rock. Built to that. And I mean, you kind of hide her injuries.
Depends if they want her to win the title straight in her first matches. She winning the title.
They might. That's what I'm saying. It mightn't be a title match. It might be. Might go a tag and elongate it further.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Next on the list, Okada versus Pac. Bastard versus the Rainmaker. So last night on Dynamite, there was a trios match, 6-man tag match, whatever you want to call it. Pac and Penta and poor old Danny Garcia. What happened to Danny Garcia? Because he was, eventually he got a nice showcase on the Continental Classic, and it looked like he was getting some sort of push.
He's had a brilliant 2024.
Has he?
Yeah, he had a huge push the first 2 months of the year, and then he got to face Christian Cage at Revolution, the TNT title. Lost that. He's getting bigger spots. So you're now gonna have. Well, he was the one. He lost the other night, right? But they're not. People are like, oh, why didn't they take a Pen to take the pin? Because they're probably going to bring at some point do a Death Triangle, elite thing down the road, right? But Penta's not going to be involved in this post next week. Whereas Danny Garcia getting brutalized, taking everybody's finishers, beating up with the ladder and everything. So that's him taken out for a couple of weeks, say. So now you've got Pac versus Okada building heat. Two of them want to kill each other. So you're going to have a Pac Okada this week where Okada's going to win because he's Okada this weekend. What do you do after that? You're going to have Danny Garcia come back. You took me out with the ladder, and that's what you build to next. Then Double or Nothing, you have Danny Garcia versus Okada.
Oh, really?
In the meantime, then you have whatever schmoz finish with FTR Elite. Then you'll have FTR and Danny Garcia, who have been very tight for the last while. They'll be against the new Elite as well. So that'll be the kind of 3-on-3. They won't do a 3-on-3 match, but that's the program intertwined with each other, building to Double or Nothing. So I reckon you'll have Danny Garcia, Okada versus for the Continental Belt at Double or Nothing. Again, that's elevating Danny Garcia further, even though he's not winning. He's getting elevated to a point where he can conceivably be accepted in the eyes of the fans. He's facing Christian Cage, facing Okada. Do you know what I mean? That's how you don't have to win to build people up, even though wins and losses matter. He can keep on winning in the meantime. So that's where the program's gonna be pivoting to.
They brought it in again this year. The ranking structure, it's not been mentioned a lot. So, like, is it just for the main title, the AEW title, women's title? Is there ranking structure involved?
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's not. It's gone again, is it? It's not been.
Oh, it's posted like every 2 weeks or so. They've posted it 3 or 4 times so far. It's it's the men's division, but you've got like all 4 titles at the top. Women's division 2 titles, tag titles, and then trios titles, the 4 divisions. I had a far better solution of having 1 title, world, and having brackets of 10, including the champions, the underling belts included within that. I wasn't listened to.
You need to get in another press conference. Tell them that.
Listen, but I reckon there is murmurings that that's what it is being redesigned anyway. Listen, the Continental Classic belt shouldn't be defended anyway.
No, not at all.
It should be a trophy. Much like the Owen Hart
tournament, just a tournament, once a year tournament. That's
but like you should have some sort of prestige. Like it's like winning the Champions League. It's not like, do you know what I mean? It's not like winning a league.
Yeah, you don't defend the Champions League every week.
Knockout tournament. You win the prestigious knockout tournament, year-end tournament.
It kind of fucks up for this year's. If they do another one at the end of this year.
But they might change the format next year. So because they've got to move into the Owen Hart Foundation tournament after Double or Nothing as well. So
yeah. So Pac's winning this anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Before we get into the Bucks and the FTR ladder match, I just want to talk a bit about what happened last week with the CM Punk and Jack Perry footage and what led into the backstage stuff this week of them cutting off the FTR promo. Like, so just your thoughts on the segment last week of them promoting. They're obviously playing heels and they were building up to the actual footage being shown, and what do you think the impact going forward will be?
I was excited about it going into it. I watched it without going on Twitter or Discord or anything. I enjoyed the overall thing. I enjoyed it all. But then you go on Twitter and Discord and suddenly your opinions get influenced by smarks and people who have bad faith takes and bad intentions and are constantly criticizing things. The whole week of WrestleMania, it was non-stop across every platform. Goes to AEW, it grows their performers, not just from CM Punk, from other people. So I personally didn't really have an issue with it. I thought there was going to be a bit more footage of CM Punk going at Tony Khan. I thought there was going to be a different angle where you could see because you can see at the end of it, Jack Perry gets CM Punk's legs up and kind of drives him back. I thought the angle might have shown that a bit more. So that was what I was told about. So yeah, I thought that it would probably shown Punk in a worse light than it did. Like it obviously showed that what he said on Daryl Hawani's show was completely blown out of proportion. In terms of I just did this, I just did that. As he kind of portrayed himself as a calm, rational man. He's obviously shown that he's somewhat of a narcissistic psychopath with several dark tetrad qualities. He's obviously delusional in terms of thinking it's acceptable to wander up and attack somebody.
Did he wander up and attack him though? Like there were, it was there was no audio, so we have no idea what they
Oh, yeah.
said to each other. We don't know what he said to
Well, I
Punk or
mean,
what Punk said
I
to him.
take him at his word and what he said in the Ariel Helwani show. Like, he went up and said, like, "What the fuck you doing?" Jack Perry said, "Well, if you want to do something about it," and then shoved him and put him in a chokehold. So like, I didn't hit anybody, but like, you're still attacking somebody. So I mean, it's like, I don't like. Listen, come here. He should have done was he should have gone out and had his match with Samoa Joe, and then come back and said, "Oh, we're having this out." Not 2 seconds before they go on air for the biggest show of all time to intentionally try and derail it, which is essentially what he did. But Jack Perry also intentionally was telling people that he was going to do something on air. He was ringing Bryan Alvarez when I was standing beside. I was talking to Bryan Alvarez in the queue for the AEW All In Media queue, telling it. And Bryan Alvarez was furious that Toni couldn't control his performers, knowing that it was Jack Perry. So, like the Young Bucks and Jack Perry and that California crew, they got what they wanted. They drove a guy insane. They drove a guy who's nuts, who is completely antisocial. They drove a guy who has zero people skills, who thinks he thinks he can just lash out at everybody and their mother and it's okay. They drove him to the point of doing that and repeatedly doing that and really isolated him and made him feel like he's on fight or flight the whole time. That was an intentional piece on their part and they achieved their goal.
Is there anybody right? Is anybody in the right in this scenario, or is everybody to blame for everything that happened?
I think CM Punk's in the right more than the others. I think if you're intentionally spreading mistruths and maligning somebody and intentionally trying to isolate somebody and intentionally, like I'm just talking about to Brawl Out in particular. Everything after that's just he's mess, right? Brawl Out. If you're trying to isolate somebody as soon as they get injured, so when CM Punk got injured, he was the happiest man in the world.
Yeah.
Goes away for 2 or 3 months, and you do everything in your power to just blacken his name when he's not there. Do absolutely everything you can, publicly in the media, leaking everything possible. That's the point where he comes back and he's furious. Do you know what I mean? Like it's Tony Khan should have had the ability to say, "Grow the fuck up, all of you. Stop being a child and fucking talking to the media. You stop hitting everybody." Do you know what I mean? Like it's like if somebody was doing that to me, I'd have batted the head off all of them. I've got a shorter fuse probably than CM Punk. So I don't like, but I mean, back to the actual segment we're talking about.
Yeah, that. I'm glad you're mentioning Tony and his management skills because he was involved in this segment with them.
Yeah, but I mean, like I used to punch the head off people on a weekly basis playing rugby. Like, so I'm not one to judge, but I mean, I thought it was a video that just informed the views of whatever previous view you had. If you wanted to make an argument that CM Punk did nothing and Tony was a clown, you got that. If you wanted to make the argument that CM Punk was a psychopath and Tony was right to fire him, you got that. It was every point of view was probably catered to. There was nothing so definitive on either side. Do you know what I mean? Like you then had talking heads like Ariel Helwani queuing up their audio to certain points of the video, without cutting out other parts of the audio to make your argument more or circular or whatnot. I enjoyed it all. I thought it was really well done when I watched it. Like it wasn't something that was going to infuriate me. It wasn't something that was going to inform my view one way or the other. I thought it added spice to the Young Buck stuff. It added spice to fucking Jack Perry, who I want to see back now, even though I think he's a complete prick for the way he treated me. It added spice to the angle. It added spice to the fuck Nick Khan and WWE shit that they've been spreading for weeks on end. Like, I liked it all, but like people, too many people in the world think that they have an opinion that's worthwhile. Do you know what I mean? Generally speaking, like I'm on Discord and whatnot, and I've like people this afternoon, for example, on this, the financial metrics talking about revenue. People who've never worked a day in their life in any sort of financial environment telling me, trying to lecture me about what revenue means, what 2 billion actually means, what 250 million USD means, without understanding any sort of qualitative metrics. Like there's too many people who think they're who are armchair experts these days. You can apply that to every scope of life. Do you know what I mean?
That's because of social media.
Yeah,
Everybody's an
yeah.
expert on everything. That
as my part of
because
my
of it.
original point, that in terms of when I saw this, I was excited for the build of it because it was promoted, and you're like, oh, this is fuck. Like we were at All In, we knew about this live on our phones, and it's been the talk of the town ever since. Well, I think everybody has a curiosity. Everybody wanted to see it, where they want to
Of course
see.
they did.
Of course they did, and it fucking achieved its goal. It got them talking. We all enjoyed watching it. People wanted to just cause toxic discourse afterwards, saying, "Oh, they should or they shouldn't have done something." Like it fed into an angle. Like it got more viewers. Like people say, "Oh, it's WWE's finger poke of doom." Fuck off. You have no clue what you're talking about. Like, and then I go on social media, and then because all these toxic losers are kind of amplifying their own previous held biases, that affects my perception of what it is, and it affects my ability to enjoy a program. Do you know what I mean? Like that, and you guys,
As Liz always
yeah.
says,
I was just about to say, yeah. If you enjoy it, if
it's
it's entertaining,
entertaining,
enjoy it. Like,
enjoy it.
yeah, yeah.
If
Like
you're entertained by it, you enjoyed it, right? So it doesn't matter what everybody else says. If it
I
entered
stand
it,
by that. Mark Calloway's a loser, though. So but
maybe
no,
they
but like that,
maybe
do
they
you know what I mean? Like
700 million
yeah.
Americans. He's not.
But I mean, but like if Nick Khan's employed thousands and thousands of bots online purely to influence people on Twitter and whatnot, like that's what happens. Like he's achieved their goal, and that's where. And then you've got like Eric Bischoff and like all these different UK-based media outlets who've got just their thumbnails is constant Tony Khan bashing when they've never talked about Vince McMahon or Triple H once. They're all curiously silent around this type of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of, you know, if you understand the PR game that's being played, it's just sad. Because I actually I enjoyed I enjoyed the FTR promo. I thought it was fucking brilliant. I loved the authenticity of it. I loved Daniel Cash Wheeler coming out and being like, why do we have to do this? Why are you such assholes? You have to do this because that's how we kind of felt, and but they're able to articulate the views of fans as well.
So it wasn't like a shoot, like it's you know, the way they were talking on commentary is like they're not supposed to be here and this isn't on our notes kind of shit whenever they first appeared.
But they're booked to fly to Dynamite when they, you know, yeah. So they're booked and their music was queued up and they went out with their music.
With last night's promo, they were both, you know, they were supposed to have their promo and the Bucks cut it off backstage.
But that's part of the EVP dickhead. We can do what we want.
Yeah, so
I mean, like it's leaning into everything CM Punk accused them of.
Is Tony Khan in charge? Why was he sitting there why was he letting them do it? If he wasn't in that segment would have been 100%. I know that segment would have been perfect. I loved what they did. It was a cool way to do it. You know, they're cutting off. Sorry, we're in charge. You're not doing that. Why did they show Tony sitting there? Because he just looked like...
He doesn't mind being shown like a dweeb.
I know, but he's in charge. Like he's talking about how he's in charge and everything goes through him. Like, just don't show him in the segment.
The whole point of the EVP guys is that there are these two arrogant twats.
Yeah.
But it's what they're kind of making what perception is now reality.
They're like Ron Burgundy of fucking wrestling. Like they're a big deal. Like I don't know if you know who we are, but kind of a big deal around here. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
but they're not in charge.
They're accusing. They're doing everything that they're kind of accused of being, and the perception online of them being. And pretty much everything they've done since they've come back is either mimicked what CM Punk did, or what the perception. Do you know what I mean? They've done a lot of meta stuff by copying CM Punk's backstage behaviors, with now copying what it's been accused of them of doing. So they're just being pure meta, and it's different. It's new. It's entertaining. It is.
Oh yeah, I love their new characters. It's completely different.
They're pricks in real life, but like, does it matter?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're not fucking pedophiles. They're not some political right wing or left wing extremists. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just dickheads. Like
Californians. They're Californians.
If I'm watching another TV show, I'm like, oh no, sorry. However, I'm not going to watch this because the two actors don't actually get along. It's fucking entertaining. Like they might hate each other in real life, but like himself.
Do they hate each other in real life?
Sorry?
Do they really hate each other in real life? FTR and the Bucks. From your point of view, do you think they really, really hate each other?
Don't like each other anyway, yeah.
Really? All right. And this is the fourth match.
Nope.
This is the fourth match they're having in AEW.
Suddenly been changed to a ladder match.
Suddenly.
some people mightn't be wanting to take pins. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Who's winning this match?
Bucks are going to win. Jack Perry will cost FDR.
Oh, really? Jack Perry coming back?
Yeah.
Top merch seller, Jack Perry.
Top merch seller, Jack Perry. So I
Scapegoat.
think you'll have yes, the Jack Perry and will join the Elite. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you watch the Windy City Riot with Jack Perry?
Watched the highlights of it. I didn't watch all of it yet.
Like you can't not watch him now.
Oh yeah, he's whatever about him, like his scapegoat shit, like is brilliant. And
he's a prick in real life. Like,
out of everybody on that segment from last week, I think it's after making him a bigger star.
Yeah, I mean, like I love the promo. I love the segment as a whole. Even the stuff later in the show where FTR and the Bucks got physical, and they're going to be in a 6-man tag against each other this weekend and Collision. So like,
yeah.
I thought that segment it achieved what it wanted to achieve, but like it then created a discourse of like a small portion of the crowd chanted CM Punk, then another portion of the crowd chanted "fuck CM Punk." Like that's what you don't want. Any sort of acknowledgement of CM Punk.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean that's the only negative from it.
Yeah, after this match is over, like they, it's probably going to be hard for them to move on completely if Jack Perry's coming back.
As long as CM Punk doesn't stop making digs and interviews. Like I mean, I was watching the WWE pre-show for WrestleMania Night 1, and he was slagging off Will Ospreay for getting a tattoo of the amount of people at the stadium and stuff. Like, what the fuck have you got to do with Will Ospreay? Like, do you know what I mean? He was like, "Oh, you're gonna get a tattoo with the attendance." Like, shut up. Just focus on what you're doing now.
He's never going to let that go either.
Nope, I know, but I mean, like, and sorry, like, if you've been gaslit for years and like had the whole world turned against you, like for 2 years straight, say, like you are going to be fucked up in the head. Right, you're going to be pissed off. But he was
pissed off 10 years ago. He was pissed off a long time ago.
Yeah, he's a guy who's got severe psychological problems, right?
He's been a long time pissed off.
Yeah, like he's since going to WWE, he started going on steroids.
Has he?
Well, you see look at his face. He's ballooned up. Your face doesn't balloon up like that. He looks like Conor McGregor last summer. He's a completely different face shape.
Tell me you didn't watch Roadhouse.
No, jeez, no.
Tell me you didn't watch it. Worst film ever made.
Is it good? Is it?
Brutal.
No, I'm not watching.
Absolutely terrible.
I don't know if steroids are steroids straight edge. By the way,
no. I don't think so.
I've got a good authority.
They're illegal drugs.
He's on the same program as AJ Styles, Randy Orton, LA Knight are on. I'm told so. There.
HRT. What's it called?
TRT.
TRT. Yeah.
There's also got Clen and a few different things you can take on. Clen, Trent. Yeah. I have friends who take it. So yeah.
These things happen. Yeah, we're not here to discuss.
I have no issues with it being medically supervised, but I mean, like,
supervised and it's safe. Their work away.
It's crime over there, though. So.
It's only a crime if you get caught. Speaking of crimes, timeless Toni Storm against Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Championship. Last night on Dynamite, again, as we record, there was a lot of shenanigans. Mariah May and Thunder Rosa, Deonna Purrazzo got involved. Luther got a bump, as he normally does. Whatever. Toni Storm... at the start, I said I was really invested in her character at the start. When she started off, it was like, funny, and it was completely different than anything else that's been done, and completely different from the Toni Storm we used to.
Yeah.
Starting to waver on it now. Starting to get I think I had enough of it. I'm ready for her and Mariah May to have a one-on-one match.
I really enjoy Mariah May. Not because she's hot, but like, I actually enjoy her work. I think she's really, really good. I like they've brought in a lot of that Stardom element. I thought the Stardom show over Mania weekend was really good. I don't know if you got a chance to catch up on it. I like that they're again.
Who was the Japanese one that was
Mina Shirakawa? Yeah, she was on Collision last week or Dynamite last week and snogged Mariah May. That's Mariah May's ex-tag team partner. But you're now intertwining multiple promotions now. That's going to be building towards Forbidden Door as well. So I like it. I like that you've now got say 4 AEW women in that angle. You've got Deonna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa, Raya May, Toni Storm. Then you've got Stardom element. One or two people can kind of come into that. Then you've got the 4 women from previous earlier in the show. So on a pay-per-view episode, you now have 8 women performing, competing on a likely on a pay-per-view. I think from the outset, everybody's badgered about the AEW women's division, but they've also had the weakest women's division for a long time in terms of the quality of wrestlers they have. So in terms like a lot like you can try to have banger matches all the time, but they don't have the depth to be able to continue that.
Yeah.
It's the same people and over and over. And I think having stronger characters helps to elevate that division to a degree, and that's why probably they've had to pivot to that more character-driven environment.
Yeah.
And I think particularly when you've got like the likes of Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and a few more people to come back. If Ruby Soho is going off pregnant now.
Congratulations, you have Ruby Soho,
yeah, and then
Angela.
Soraya is obviously limited in terms of what she physically can do in ring regularly. So there's a lot, and then you got the likes of Megan Bain coming in from Stardom, and she's going to be incredible. Never know, Becky Lynch might pop up. So there's a lot. I would argue that the women's division in AEW on the whole is a lot stronger than the women's division in any other American promotion. When you look at it on paper in terms of who's actually there and compare it with like the actual depth levels with say WWE,
it's just more, keep featuring them regularly. The more you feature them, the bigger they'll be.
They feature in ring more than
yeah, no, they're in ring, like their matches go longer and they're on to get more matches. But just in general of making them stars, making them stand out.
I think they've done a really good job of that over the space of a
year. I think Mariah May, like in specific, since she's been with Toni Storm, has really stood out.
If you look at like say Willow Nightingale, Julia Hart, Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter, Sky Blue, like these are all people who like brought in kind of essentially ground level green. Do you know what I mean? They've all been developed continually, and now they're used to television products. Like that's a patient build. Like at the start, you had like Big Swole and people are brutal like that, and then you can rotate in people like Shida and a few other Japanese talents who are probably at the end of their string, or end of the rope. Like Riho comes in every so often. You can kind of rotate them in for good matches and segments, but you're not going to be able to get anything long term out of them really. And then the ROH women's division, I'd argue, is probably the strongest women division in wrestling at times. People that have competing there, so they have a huge amount of depth. And then the likes of Athena was on Battle of the Belts the weekend, and I think at some point you'll probably see her. I would have her compete at All In.
Yeah, I still can't understand why she isn't on AEW television anymore.
He needs one person to be like the kind of the centerpiece of ROH.
Yeah, but like how long she's been, I know it's brilliant for her, like, but she's been champion for over a year.
I know, but because it's like she's the equivalent of like Cody is for WWE, and that's kind of that's a cool thing in itself.
Yeah,
that a woman is the centerpiece of a whole promotion.
Would you not have her, you maybe every few weeks show her up on AEW, and to make people tune into Ring of Honor?
Champion, and he's an AEW. So
like they should be featuring her more, like even on Collision, put her on Collision every week and have, this is a Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Go watch her on Ring of Honor and make people actually go and watch her, like, because nobody knows. If you don't watch Ring of Honor,
I'd split the AEW rosters in two. I'd have the Dynamite Rampage guys and the Collision Ring of Honor guys. I've completely 2 separate rosters.
They should, they should. Like if every other Ring of Honor champion has been featured on AEW television, why isn't she?
They'll definitely be able to market a 1 hour Ring of Honor Sunday show somewhere. I think I'd have a touring roster for Wednesdays and a touring roster for weekends.
Yeah.
A completely split rosters. Yeah. That's why I do it.
Who's winning this match anyway? Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm?
Oh, Toni Storm, because Thunder Rosa refused the job to Toni Storm about a year and a bit ago.
Oh, and really?
This is why Toni openly admitted that, and so did Toni Storm as well. They discussed in a press conference with Thunder Rosa at a store back, and then dropped the title subsequently after him. But she had broken Jamie Hayter's nose in a match not long before that, and Jamie Hayter tried to kill her backstage. So there was a lot of problems with Thunder Rosa during her first run before she stepped away. So this should be a make good, because she was due to face Toni Storm in a 1-on-1 match. I think it was Double or Nothing 2 years ago.
Yeah,
she was due to fight, and then like a couple weeks beforehand she dropped the belt. So then it went to Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm interim title, and then by Forbidden Door, it was suddenly no longer interim title; it became full title then. I just remember the post match or the post show press conferences at that time was very cutting. And it's pretty widely known that Thunder Rosa was kind of just refusing the job, and she'd stiffed a lot of people in matches, and Jamie Hayter, had tried to kill her a few times. So, yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens there. Jamie Hayter's, I'm not sure is due back anytime soon.
Please God, as soon as possible.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Shenanigans in this match, I'm presuming Deonna and Thunder Rosa are going to end up in a feud after this at some stage.
Yeah, so. Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo, I say, will start doing something together because even though they've been teaming, they've been teasing Dissension. I reckon you'll have Mina Shirakawa come out and do something with Mariah May and Toni Storm. There'll be some sort of dynamic between Mariah May having to choose between the two. I'll continue on for a bit. But like it's just continuing to go on. Like let these things play out. You kind of with the women's division, the matches are all going to be good. To be fair to them, if they're going to be on an AEW pay-per-view, it's just giving them. I just give them a bit more rope, given the kind of ground level approach they've taken and the kind of the growth they've gone on. I think by the end of this summer, they could be in a very, very exciting.
Is Dustin still producing the women's matches?
Yeah, a lot of people produce women's matches. Like, I think they don't. It's not just solely Dustin Rhodes. There's a lot of people kind of do them as well. So I know Kenny Omega used to have a big say, but obviously he's at home. So, but yeah, Dustin Rhodes has a huge say in it.
Yeah. Moving on. As you can see behind me, we're going to talk Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Goosebumps matches, one of those, people are going to be, holy fucking shit kind of thing before they even touch. Is going to be one of those face-offs, the match that you never thought you'd ever see. Last night on Dynamite, Ospreay and Claudio went, I don't know, 15 minutes, I think, or something, and a hell of a barn burner, we'll call it a barn burner last night.
Yeah.
And then obviously post-match shenanigans ensued, and they're still teasing Ospreay being a face or a heel with the Don Callis family. Like, but what did you think of the match with Claudio and Ospreay?
Awesome, yeah, awesome. Brilliant. Like it was to be expected. Like I was watching the show. I was like, Jesus, like if only this is on an Irish time, you could properly enjoy it. So unfortunately, we have to either watch late at night or 6 o'clock in the morning. There's no in between. It's the type of match that you could attract fans to it. To wrestling, to AEW, if they've been promoted a bit more. I just wish like AEW had the marketing and PR to kind of infrastructure in place to really just like shove this down your throat. Even the Claudio match before you even think about Danielson. Like I think these are the type of matches that should be like the world should be excited about. Because what wrestling's all about. And I think they had a match that wasn't even just like chasing stars that sometimes Will Ospreay can be prone to do, like just to placate one person as an audience. It was a match that like served the program and served the TV audience and served the build to a bigger match. It served the feud, which was more. You get more out of it. Right? You could have had just a random banger match, but like you're not an indie show. You're a precursor to a pay per view, and you've got an existing story between the BCC and the Don Callis family. So. I thought it was really well done, and it kind of played off with the Don Callis family getting involved. I don't like Don Callis on commentary; it just kind of sounds like he's hectoring me the whole time. I like that they kind of talking about like how he'd taken out the Don Callis family had taken out Danielson the weekend on Collision and stuff. Moxley talked about it in his promo beforehand. Moxley comes out, chases the bad guys away. Will Ospreay was visibly really pissed off with the Don Callis family as well. So that's obviously going to be now him moving away from that going forward, which is well done. So it's in canon made sense. So he's not just randomly going to split or whatever. Yeah, it was good. The only thing in this feud, right? I wish they like say even from last week. I wish they'd got like Danielson packages, Ospreay packages just throughout the shows. Every episode, they should have had like every member of the roster and like legends talking about who they think is going to win. But like, if you do that, and I changed my mind to this because that's what I wanted. But then, if you do that, you're devaluing the world title. You're saying that this is the most important match.
Well, this would be the main event, like
you know what I mean? Yeah. So like that's when you get back to that Rock Hogan, Jericho, Triple H situation from previous. Like didn't like. I don't think Danielson would ever want that. I think Danielson's far too selfless. I think somebody should kidnap his children. I think they should like put a gun to his head and say, "You're winning matches. You're winning the title. I'm going to kill your children. They're not going to be fed." Like just something like that.
We're going to feed them meat.
We're going to make them eat meat. They're
Meat.
going to pure carnivore diet. They're going to
processed
carnivore diet.
Cow meat.
Carnivore diet. Their immune systems are going to become brilliant. They're going to become very well-adjusted young people because they eat meat. As good young people should eat all your meat.
Yeet.
But anyway, that's I understand why it hasn't gotten the 100% push and build. You've also got like short parameters between pay-per-views as well. And you've also got to rebuild Danielson. He's just lost Kingston last time, whatever, and then you've got to build him up again for this. So and I like the way they've woven in the BCC Don Callis family. I reckon at Double or Nothing, you'll probably see another Anarchy in the Arena between probably the BCC and Don Callis family.
Ospreay still going to be part of them by then?
Yeah, why not?
Teasing
this. You can do something like it doesn't have to be so black and white. You can do being like
when is Double or Nothing? Is it the end of May? Is it
end of May? I think. Yeah. So
they have like 6 or 7 weeks for them to tease.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. How do you split out then? Because this is obviously where they're going. We got the 4 people from Don Callis family. They got the 3 really at the minute. So you might have like Wheeler Yuta's gone, injured, whatever. So you might have Will Ospreay join up with the Blackpool Combat Club and somebody else. Like you might have
Mark Davis.
Jumping up. That'd be nice. And then you got that built-in feud with the United Empire and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can move. I think because what do you do to get like if you're building Danielson to a couple of send-off matches in September, October, and you're building Ospreay up to world title, you can't just have him keep winning the whole time. You've got to put him in programs or feuds and stuff and do things that'll draw attention. But that's a feud that you can do across 2 different programs. You can have Dynamite between a couple of people and in Collision. So that's something that can take up a lot of compelling television time. You've got all your best brains working towards that. Yeah, and that's something that elevates Will Hobbs and Takeshita hugely as well. So for this match, obviously, we just assume Ospreay's winning, but I'd have Danielson win.
Really?
I don't think a win would do anything for Ospreay yet. I think it'd be too easy. I think it's
too soon for him to lose into his AEW day.
I think somebody will cost him
from the BC or from Don Callis family.
Yeah. I think and that'll further that. But like it won't be blatant, like it'll be schmozzing at ringside between the 2 teams. I reckon at some point with the 2 lads in the ring, and then Ospreay gets distracted by something or somebody does something. Do you know what I mean? Some maybe Don Callis himself pulls Ospreay's leg or something.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. They'll do it in a way where it doesn't reflect badly on Bryan either. That's I think.
Well,
because Danielson can't keep losing matches. He's the
best if Danielson sees it after the following week on Dynamite and he sees it was a cheap win or he didn't win cleanly or something like that, he'll want a rematch.
Yeah, like Mark Davis might come down and batter them all. They might have. Do you know what I mean? They might get battered and leave the Ospreay and the Blackpool Combat Club collectively laying. And then you might have Danielson, Ospreay all in. Like I prefer that to Ospreay winning a title.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't need a title. It's Ospreay. So I mean, like, why does he need a title? He's already the best.
Yeah, it's Wembley. It's Ospreay.
Ospreay in the event. But if Ospreay's against Swerve Strickland, right? Like that's just going to be 2 guys who think like just want to do all the cool stuff, and they think that like they're 2 people who know they're so good at wrestling that they're going to do all the cool wrestling rather than like having that unbelievable moment and story that he would get if he was against Omega or Danielson or I don't know, Moxley even again. Yeah.
Proving a point like years ago whenever they were teaming up like Ospreay and Ryan Smile and Swerve were once in a tag team, a trios or 6-man tag match against the Elite in the UK, before they did the
Yeah.
Similar style match with Leo Rush and
But
OTT.
anyway,
Like,
yeah.
but
For this, I would have Danielson win with the Don Callis family leaving them all laying, with somebody coming in to replace Ospreay, and then somebody being kind of the focal point of the Don Callis family.
with Moxley being the new congratulations on IWGP champion, is he going to be around, as often? Is he going to be over in Japan a lot more
He's
defending
going to be
that?
at the Don Taku. I put up a story with bodyslam.net exclusive.
Link in description.
Yeah, so he's going to be. I reckon he'll be dropping the belt at the Dominion show in Osaka, Japan. He's booked for 4 events. He's booked for a tag team match coming up soon that he's fighting Ren Narita. Then he's fighting. Then that's in Japan. Then he's got another show in the United States for a New Japan Strong, where it's going to be facing Shota Umino, and then he's going to be back over in Japan, I reckon. So he's going to do the gauntlet of all the young guys, I'd say. This is what Okada was initially offered but turned down. So he's going to go Ren Narita, then he's going to go Shota Umino. I reckon he'll then go look at either Yuya Uemura or Yota Tsuji before reverting back then to probably losing to Naito. So Naito probably didn't want to put all them, but or whatever it is. So I say he'll do 4 or 5 shots before dropping the belt, just purely because he can't be in Japan full time.
Yeah.
But he's such a big name that he can elevate all them. That's the kind of the idea behind it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Last match on the card, the AEW World Championship, Samoa Joe against Swerve Strickland. I'm just presuming going off your talk of Ospreay and Swerve, all in, you're thinking Swerve's winning here?
No. I think Samoa Joe wins, and I think Hangman costs Swerve.
Really? Oh no more swing. No more Hangman and Swerve. They have had enough matches. Their feud is done.
I don't think Swerve's ready to be world champion either.
You don't think he's like strike when the iron's hot, like he is fucking over. I know Samoa Joe's a great champion. He's been brilliant since he's been champion. Like, but Samoa Joe, doesn't really. He's on a level where titles, he doesn't really need a title like to be Samoa Joe. Like, doesn't do him any harm to lose. I just think like if they're ever going to put the title on Swerve, it's now, because if he loses,
I just think it's too obvious.
I know it's too obvious, like, but what do you do with Swerve after this? Like,
I think Hangman Page will be involved someday. Maybe afterwards. I think you've got to do Swerve Hangman for the title at some point. I'd do Swerve Hangman for the title at All In, actually.
So how does Swerve get the title if he's not beating Samoa Joe?
Yeah. Okay, so Samoa, I don't know.
I really like Samoa Joe as champion. I want him to be champion for a long time, but
I think if this is WWE, and it's just because it got shorter pay-per-view turnarounds, you'd build it further. I think Swerve should win it at Double or Nothing. I think
does he get another match? Does he get another match? He's many title shots is going to get if he, with the ranking structure.
This is his first one-on-one title shot. So.
Yeah, but like with the ranking structure and in place if he loses, does he go back to the end of the queue, or is what happens?
Who's to know? But anyway, I'm somehow, without any reasoning or logic behind it, predicting Samoa Joe wins, and I will not elaborate further because I don't have a reason. Just an intuitive feeling. Just my gut.
You and your sources.
No, just in my gut. It's in my balls. Just feel Samoa Joe is
in your loins.
In my loins, yes.
Your loincloth.
You haven't given any predictions here, actually, for anything.
I've pretty much agreed with everything. I think Hook is going to beat Chris Jericho. I do think Roderick Strong, Willow, Okada, the Bucks, Toni Storm, Ospreay, and Swerve are winning, and obviously House of Black and the Gunn Club are winning that. That's my predictions.
So we're diverging we're burying the young guy. I'm burying the young guys. I got Danielson and Joe going over because respect your elders. 2 little shits should lose.
No way.
No. That's my predictions. I reckon you'll have a couple of surprises. You'll have Jack Perry in the pay-per-view, I reckon.
Yeah. I'd like to see that.
I don't know. I was trying to think where would the Motor City Machine Guns fit in, but I'm not really
That's
sure.
right. Yeah, we forgot they mentioned that.
I don't really think they fit in. I don't really think they fit in. Is the only thing.
At all.
Well, like, where'd you put them in?
Anywhere. They
Like,
have a history with the Young Bucks.
They might do like a come out on the stage and announce they've signed them or something, maybe. But like, they're not.
Like if they beat the Young Bucks, or if the Young Bucks win and they come out.
I think the Young Bucks are going to be moving with the Elite and Jack Perry. I think maybe Motor Machine Guns come in and do something fresh. I don't know. As their own entity in the tag team division, work their way up.
Why not? They're,
I don't know.
they have them there. They're,
Yeah.
their knowledge of tag team wrestling, like,
Yeah.
or their knowledge of, their history. Like,
Yeah.
they go back a long way with the Bucks before they were called the Young Bucks.
I've no doubt you're going to have leeches like Matt Hardy suddenly wanting to return to AEW as soon as the Machine Guns turn up. Like, so I don't
know. I don't think so. I think he's done and dusted. He had a show out there today, I think, with
John Alba. Yeah,
John Alba.
Listen to half of it. It was fucking garbage.
Yeah, it was like all over the place. So
did he have any takeaways about AEW at all? Really? I listened to like over half of it. And it was.
I don't think he was very happy with his time there at all. Like,
yeah, but he just seems like a deluded guy. Like,
I think it's too many concussions. To be honest, he's had a lot of concussions.
Yeah, but he's also like, he was miserable in WWE, goes to AEW, gets pushed pretty well from the outset for a couple of years during COVID. Then his brother joins. He was allowed to do all his House of Hardy nonsense stuff, family office stuff for ages. He's allowed to do what he wanted.
It worked during the COVID era, like, that's why.
Yeah, his brother joined. He stank out the joint against the Bucks in 2022, Double or Nothing. One of the worst tag matches I've ever seen. Then Jeff Hardy gets fucking DUI'd and gets his everything paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you should be thankful they had a job instead of being sacked. And then him and his wife were tweeting their unhappiness for years, which would probably grounds for sacking them anyway. Anytime they've performed in ring, it's been like painful to watch. The guy, he can barely walk around the ring without holding the ropes these days.
Their bodies are in shit. Like,
yeah,
look,
like, I don't
they're
want
years of abuse. So what are you going to do? Like,
physical and every type of abuse possible. Like,
I'm not saying he needs to retire. Like, but
I am.
Is there any?
I am. But
yeah, but like, is there anything besides giving back to the business? Is there anything people can take from him before he actually does hang up his boots?
I think he wants to be. Let it, like, he was offered a producer role in WWE beforehand. Now didn't want to do that. If AEW probably have offered him a deal, he's turned that down. Like, they've probably offered him something backstage as well or creatively. Like, you're like, nobody wants to watch you. Like, go off and do your fan conventions. You might have queues a mile long, but like, that's fine. Do that. Nobody wants to see you on TV. Nobody wants to see you wrestle. That's the nostalgia.
That's what happens when you're done wrestling. Like, you're living off the conventions.
Yeah, but he seems to think because his queues are a mile long at the conventions, people want to see him on TV. No, they don't. Nobody wants to see you wrestle.
It's nostalgia.
You can't wrestle. You're in pain. Your brother looks like he's going to kill himself every time he moves. Like, nobody wants to see you on television. So just leave it be. Yeah, Motor City Machine Guns, not the Hardy's pace.
Let's see what happens. That's it, lads. That's our predictions for AEW Dynasty. We may be back. I'm not sure if we'll be back next week to give our review of the show, but we'll be talking about it any next time we're on. Our award show, Irish Wrestling Awards, will be out. A double episode. We'll be split in two because it's so long and there's a lot of stuff involved in it. So it'll be out next week in two parts. So stay tuned for that. Mark, have you anything else coming up? You mentioned our article out in Body Slam. Anything else you've coming up? Any pieces you've written?
I've got a piece I've written up about the decision Tony Khan made to back CM Punk over Cody Rhodes, essentially, and a timeline review piece and kind of where the company's diverged after that with Voice of Wrestling. And I've got another one or two pieces in the works as well, but they'll be publicized on all socials coming closer to it.
And you will be at WWE Backlash in Leon in the coming weeks, so we'll be tuning in to see what happens there. I'm looking forward to your positive.
I made the BBC.
I'm looking forward to your positive review on that. As always, lads, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your predictions in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.